Hey everyone, this is Jim Glottober, founder of myk12pd.com, and welcome to the first innovatively titled myk12pdcast. Support myk12pd on our campaign at indiegogo.com. You can also follow us on YouTube and Facebook on the channel myk12pd and on Twitter at myk12pd. So I figured our first topic of conversation for the PD cast should be essentially, why should you support the campaign? Why should you donate? Why should you try and get the word out as much as possible? And so I figured the easiest way to bridge that gap would be to just describe how myk12pd as an educational resource could help educators across the country come to grips kind of with the Common Core education standards that we've all heard so much about in the national media. For anyone who's really unfamiliar or only has kind of a general knowledge, here's a slightly more in-depth explanation of what it is. The Common Core education standards are a series of math and English language arts learning standards created through a joint effort by several organizations related to philanthropy and education, with the ultimate goal of making students everywhere across the country more college and career ready. So, as you may be able to imagine, they're pretty rigorous. they're definitely more intense than anything that I remember coming across. Certainly when I was in high school, and also even really when I was doing my teacher training. So ultimately, the problem with it, because obviously they're great standards that everyone should aspire to, where things get kind of tripped up is when the 44 adopting states, have to come in and figure out, well, how do we actually implement these at the district level in our schools? Basically, the new problem that's kind of cropped up is, well, why would teachers and administrators in our public school districts, who are already phenomenally busy, if you don't know anyone who works in education, or if you're already a teacher, then you know exactly what I'm talking about, who are already so busy, have the time to focus on reintegrating pretty rigorous academic standards that relate to Common Core specific skills in our day-to-day planning? And ultimately, what happens from the other colleagues that I've spoken to at length about it is that in the worst case scenario, they get force-fed lessons from who knows where, from probably some other department in the state education system, or from administrators or whatever, to kind of suck all the innovation and creativity out of people's lessons on a daily basis. So that's kind of a worst case scenario. And then obviously there's a whole batch of other problems that kind of apply to people and other teachers on a state by state basis. So in essence, the problem is, how do Common Core standards truly get implemented in the most effective way in our classrooms, in our actual classrooms, especially in underperforming schools, underfunded schools, what have you. Which basically means that the issue right now is, how can we get teachers access to the lessons of other teachers who have already thought of highly effective math or English lessons that can be certifiably proven to reinforce and promote Common Core learning standards. And that is where this campaign comes in. The purpose of myk12pd, in a sentence or less, is to get the best lessons from the best teachers to anyone who subscribes. And that might sound like a pretty ambitious goal, but I mean, it really is as simple as just kind of finding, recording, and then uploading the best material from renowned teachers across the country to give anyone who subscribes that kind of walk-in observation experience that, if we're perfectly honest, no teacher really has the time to do in this day and age. So pretend for a second that you're a math or English teacher, or if you already are one, then just pretend you're in your classroom or you're at home trying to plan for next year. And you need a lesson for tomorrow. So step one, you would log in to myk12pd. Step two, you could search for video clips that kind of show highly effective teachers in action in their classrooms where someone's just kind of set the camera down and walked away, so there's no observer bias, and what is the actual procedure for teaching this lesson, for using whatever technology it is that you would have to use in conjunction to the lesson itself. You could then go to the lesson plan builder, which is just a template that you can kind of fill in with different activities to better organize it for yourself, and then just print it off. If it's for an actual observation and you need some kind of more in-depth analysis of what exactly it is that you've seen or any topics concerning professional development, then hop on over to the discussion forum and see what other teachers' opinions are on issue X. So what I am really trying to do here with this project, and the reason why I sincerely hope people consider donating and spreading the word, is up until now, there's never been a real good way to kind of take professional development home with you. People like to say all the time that imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. Totally true in teaching. Easily one of the best ways to kind of have yourself develop as an educator. And up until this point, I can't safely say that there's been a one-stop resource where that is possible, and that is the overarching goal of myk12pd, is to get professional development that you can take home with you and use for a lesson the next day, if absolutely necessary, and also just to kind of map out the curriculum at large for whatever topic it is that you teach. Not just English and math, but also world languages, history, other science subjects, and so on, and also at the elementary level as well. So that's essentially what we're trying to do here, and that's what I'm hoping to be able to build in the next year or so. If you've stuck with this all the way, then you have my thanks. Remember, you can support us at Indiegogo, INDIEGOGO, all one word, .com. That's where you'll find the campaign for myk12pd, and also you can follow us on YouTube and Facebook at the same name. That would be the channel myk12pd, and follow us on Twitter with the handle at myk12pd as well. So once again, thanks for stopping by and tuning in, and I will hopefully get back to you with another one of these as soon as possible. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.